between the two teams. Best of 3. If Legacy Genesis take this game out, they are one step closer to the OPL. They'll be going to the OPL promotion tournament. And I'll tell you what, it will be a big surprise because everyone had it for Abyss Academy. At least Maokai as we move in. And again, the Rakan just taken away from Kuden.
They've opted to ban the Maokai themselves, though. So they don't actually want to... I actually don't like that at all. It just shows that they didn't feel comfortable at it, maybe. But I feel like they just thought, oh, it didn't work game 1. But maybe... They have left the Kog'Maw open, which is I think is fine. I think it's fine. I think they know that leaving Lulu to them was the real issue there. But I'm definitely not happy that they banned the Maokai off themselves.
I mean, it comes down to the fact that they're probably saying we're putting more priority on going for the Kog'Maw. Immediately, Legacy Genesis realized that maybe this is what they might be going for, and decided they don't want to have to go against it.
This is like 7-11.
It's going to be interesting.
I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, it's definitely strange to see. They immediately hover the Tristana, which will deny KO. A great champion, a great performance from the first from that game we just saw. They do lock it in.
I'd like to see a Tristana and Janna pick up here.
I mean, would he pick up in response because that's KO's champion taken away and there's no Kog'Maw as a response?
And they do secure
there's
the
flex
as
again.
Well. I love that. He had a great game with Jarvan, did his role very well. Was 3-0 quite early on. You could see that Babip was really that proactive jungle that you want in your team. And it seems we're going to have the same jungle matchup as Swaith does jump onto the Sejuani.
Yeah, 3rd week in a row for Swaith and already a big beefy lineup for Abyss Academy.
Yeah. No Kog'Maw.
No, but so
the question is then how do they have to deal with it? Ooh.
Okay, this
is interesting all of a sudden.
I don't know if I like this because here's the issue. Genesis are now going to draft a dive bot lane. They have a Jarvan already, and they have a Tristana. I'd love them to see a Braum or something to really just get on top of this Twitch.
I don't feel that's tilting style. I mean, in the past weeks, it's been the Nami,
he's typically been
the Janna.
He doesn't... Okay.
Typically
so we do see a Janna. This is okay. This is actually fine. Tristana, Janna will be able to push this Twitch onto tower and provide... we may see a Talia again. We may see a dive onto this bot lane. We did talk about it in the first game, but you never saw real lane priority in the bot lane. It was more just a gentleman's agreement that we're both going to farm. I definitely would say that Genesis have the lane priority in the bot lane. Harry had a great game with Talia. May feel comfortable and move on to that champion again. And we may see... I would like to see them dive this Twitch.
I think the big thing Abyss Academy can go for here is that Lulu. It is available at this point in time. Does synergize very well with the Twitch. It's a good pickup. And typically, when you are dealing with that sort of lane priority, having get out a free jail card for the dives with her ultimate is something that we saw used to great effect, especially when it was tilting on the other foot, who managed to get out of a 3-man dive using the heal, using the ultimate, using the shielding.
I'm wondering if they know that they need to ban Talia here. They're banning mids at the moment. I'm really just thinking, yes, okay, smart ban, very smart ban. Harry, what are you going to play now? Corki? Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Corki, it's going to be Victor Corki, I'd assume. Frey's a big Victor player. But, I mean, you do have the package. You have that roaming capability.
Comes down to that dive composition.
Yes, it's harder to pull off because Talia has the cooldown on like the ultimate's generally up every minute.
Oh, the Jack's locked in, however, up in the top.
So this is a Galio support.
Yeah. Okay. So Kuden coming back to that tanky style, which we wanted to expect from him, unless they lock in this Lulu, in which case
that would be a Galio mid.
Then
Galio mid. Kuden is hovering the Lulu. It's going to be interesting to see. That's locked in. So Galio mid, Jack's up in the top lane. And Abyss Academy have drafted, again, a heavy front line.
Gragas. You have to go Gragas.
Okay.
Gragas nullifies Jack's split push.
Yep, 100%.
You can never get the stun, the counter strike off, and Gragas can generally outtrade Jax because he bursts and trades, while Jax needs sustained periods of like auto attacking.
Yeah.
So this is a great lock-in. We're taking a while. I really
hope it is. No, he will lock it.
That's a smart pick ban coming out of both teams.
What I really like about the Galio pickup going into the mid lane is all of a sudden, if you are trying to draft for that dive composition, Galio just stops it. If you try to dive the top lane, doesn't matter. He's going to use a hero's entrance. You try to dive the bot lane, same situation occurs. Now that idea of trying to go for those dives and hitting Twitch while he's weak doesn't have that same flavor, that same enticing amount that you want to go for it anymore.
We're in a similar situation as we were last game. If you count the Jacks out, because that ruins my point, but Abyss Academy are running a similar composition to what Legacy were running in the first game. They're not playing COG, they're playing Twitch. Can Twitch kill this front line of Legacy Genesis before Corki Tristana can kill theirs? Because Twitch definitely isn't as strong as COG when it comes to killing the front line, and that's what Tank Meta is all about. It's all about killing the front line as fast as you can. But we do have the Corki and the Tristana, and they are versing a Galio though. So Galio, Sejuani, and you probably would think the Jacks would never group.
I think this is like one of the interesting things about having the Twitch though, is all of a sudden he ends up actually just bypassing the front line. When his ultimate's up, everyone's getting hit. Yeah. It's no longer a matter of, okay, do we need to go front to back? It's just, I'm going to kill your whole team unless you all move out of the way. Yeah,
there's not really any counterplay to Twitch. Really, like generally you would want to have a Braum or something with quite big CC. I mean, you have the Grag Assault, but that has quite a big animation time, and Twitch is able to flash that quite easily. Yeah, it's really going to come down to if this Twitch is able to have a free lane, able to farm up and become that threat. Because I think Abyss's pick ban is very smart, and it's definitely, I'm definitely curious to see as if they're going to be given this gentleman's agreement farm bot lane that we saw in the first game.
I feel like it's going to be a very different situation, however, and Swaith and Babip going to be on both the same junglers in game number 2, but Legacy Genesis, they find the win here through whatever means. And guess what? They're going to be going to the OPL promotion tournament as well as the OCS finals for split number 2. The chance to challenge whoever our bottom 2 OPL teams are. Remember, we've got a couple of weeks left, but right now Legacy Genesis are looking in form. It's going to be Drakon this time on the Tristana, and no Cogmore, no free hitter. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than last game.
Yeah, and I'm really just questioning, where can Babip go? Like, what lane can he go to in the early stages? I don't really see how he can punish this Twitch Lulu lane. Yeah. When you have a Janna.
That's the question I was asking myself.
Yeah, there's not really any follow-up CC, and you can maybe do something to this Galio earlier on, but it probably looks like the top lane. So I'm definitely looking at his pathing and what he's looking to do.
And then it also is a question you need to ask Swaith, like, where do I really want to run here? I think the clear sort of place would be towards that top side. You do actually have some decent kill pressure on the Jacks if that Counter-Strike does land and he's able to follow up and layer that CC afterwards. Especially while Out of Ferns is in that squishy phase, hasn't managed to build up any armor or extra HP to really deal with one of those ganks.
I do want to point out that Swaith did get a super leash from his bot lane. He will have the tempo advantage, and it looks to be just doing blue, and he may... Oh, he looks like he's going to scuttle, and he may look for this top lane game. But he does have the tempo advantage. He looks to be invading.
Yep, Swaith's going to be doing the exact same thing. Okay, so Swaith, going to be coming around mid. You can see right here, Hayri pushing very hard into Frey, as there's going to be the pause in the Justice Punch. Unfortunately, a pause in the game as well. Technical issues with the players. It's okay, we'll be back.
I wonder if Justice Punch has an animation noise. Because I know when you pause...
You hear like wind. It's like Winds of War, you hear wind, right?
Because you know what the worst is? Rumble overheat.
Oh,
the alarm just going off. As a player, I'm just sitting on stage, and someone on the other team will have an issue, but this Rumble overheat would just be going off in my head.
And it repeats.
Yes, and it just repeats.
And you can't take your headset off, can you?
No, you can't take your headset off, so you literally just need to pull through it.
You just need to sit there.
Makes you get crazy.
And they're probably just laughing because they know that we're suffering through it. But hopefully the Galio wind isn't too bad.
No.
I get what you're saying.
You hear like the initial, like the imprint of his feet on the ground, right? You hear that like step back.
Yep.
And then as he jumps forward, hopefully it doesn't repeat like the jump forward sound or the knock up sound anyway. Guys, with Legacy Genesis, this composition is not... You know, this is not the same as last game. There's not a Protect the Cogmore. You've still got the Jarvan. You've got a frontliner who's a little bit different up in the top lane there with the Gragas, as we're back and no, the sound did not repeat.
Does manage to land that there, but it's going to be to no avail.
Yeah, look, I mean, Artifen's playing the Gragas. I like this Gragas pick. Like, I think they can do a lot with it, but it's just, how does the priority come into it? How does Babip, does he rotate top? Does he let Artifens rotate down. Like, how are we going to watch this Legacy Genesis composition impact the rest of the map?
So it seems both, like we've got a mirror matchup, mirror pathing really coming out of both junglers. They're both stealing each other's golems. As we predicted, this Gragas is going to be winning this lane earlier on. He is pushed up, but I think this Jax doesn't really want to lose that wave.
Yeah,
I think he wants. I think he's telling Swathe, "Hey man, can I just get this wave?" Because he is just scaling. At best, they can get a flash, but that flash is not worth 10 CS in the early stages of a laning phase.
Yeah, it's the worst when I see a jungler coming in for a gank early in the game, and I'm just going, he's been pushed into me for the past 3 minutes, and you choose now as it's crashing. Are you?
Yeah, but that's because you're salty.
It's
because you play Udyr and you're salty.
I would say, Paprise would have feeling pretty salty there too,
but you're as bad as a Riven, Hendrix. Udyr one trick. Well, there we go. There's extended training. Artiferns not going to care. Throws one right back to Paprise.
Yeah, in this early stage of the game, Gragas has that advantage that he's going to do, as you said, those smaller trades beforehand, but typically it's just the fact that he's got those base damages, there's no items on the Jax, and even if it was going to be an extended trade, I'd still be giving it over to the Gragas at this point.
I'd like to say that this Sejuani is spending a lot of time in the top lane, and he does get a flash for it, but you can already see the BIP is getting quite a big CS lead, about 1 camp, maybe 2 camps on Swathe. Good trading coming out of Harry, punishing this Galio, but Galio does run teleport. We're able to get back into that lane.
And you can see this is the punishment that BABIP's giving to Swathe for sitting there for so long. These are the biggest experience that you can basically take away from anyone.
Is he going to leave one?
Of course he will.
Yeah, he will. No, he's taking them.
No, I'm just taking them all.
All right, so resets. Artifern's going to slowly pick up this wave, missing a lot. Oh, God.
I'll tell you, Gragas is hard to last hit under 10.
Yeah, you're not wrong. BABIP, not going to get caught out.
BABIP's laughing.
Rotating back
BABIP's actually laughing right now.
You got everything you wanted. You got the back.
Great punish, because Swathe spent about a minute in the top lane, and he did get a flash for it, but I wonder what that's actually going to do, because Gragas will never really die in this matchup. Especially
once he goes for his back, which is happening now. Now he's going to get his first tank.
And he's going for a damage. Okay, I don't like it. This is
greedy.
Very greedy.
This is
the
greedy.
Old Iceborne start, boys.
It's not that I don't like the Iceborne start. It's that I don't like that he's used his flash and then has opted to build damage. It just makes him so much more squishier. If there is a return gank from Swathe, it's much more likely to succeed because he doesn't have any defensive stats.
I think he knows this matchup really well. I think he understands how Gragas can solo kill Jax. You are able to, regardless of if you have flash, you can still out-trade the Jax through your short, through cancelling the counter-strike with your body slam. And you eventually will poke them down to where you can put them in kill range. But here we go. Swathe is coming up, trying to punish this no-flash Gragas.
All right, he's got his ultimate
available. He has ult. This is hard to pull off.
Yeah.
And there's a wave pushing in, which Gragas just wants to...
I reckon he'll back off as soon as he forces it up.
Looks like he's going to go toward it.
Artiferns is still going in. He's going to now check the ward, find Swathe.
Yeah. And you can see the BIP is just taking the farm, and he's double the CS on Swathe. He's about to hit level 6 off that camp.
Artiferns, why are you still here? The flash is forward. This is the permafrost.
That's first blood.
This is first blood going down. Exactly right. Body bop again, but it's not enough.
Great flash from Paprise. He did flash the explosive cast and did get into range. It was very nice play coming out of him, and it's very unfortunate that he didn't get the first blood because that Jack split push would be a carry threat.
Yeah.
But we are seeing a response coming out of Legacy Genesis as they are picking up the dragon.
Yeah, they're going to secure this first
They don't have the smite, though.
KO's there. No smite whatsoever. Will still be secured, and that's an Infernal Drake at the cost of Artifern's life.
But what I dislike about it for Legacy Genesis is that it didn't even need to be at Artifern's life there. I feel that if he was just a bit more careful, had decided to go for those tankier stats instead of that cooldown reduction, he would have been able to survive. Swathe would have come up once again, and they would have not given up the first blood, and they would have got the dragon as well. And BABIP again would be absolutely laughing because he'd be even further ahead.
Something else I want to mention is you generally don't This matchup in the mid lane,
Sure.
Corki into Galio, is very nice for Corki because Corki wants the farm. He wants to just farm till he gets Triforce and he's able to power spike and do what he needs to do with his first package power play. Galio can't really punish him. He can't trade very well. He's just able to nullify lane and wave clear. So Harry is only 4 CS up, but you can see he has the Sheen. He's able to build quite greedy, quite comfortably. And this is a good situation for Legacy Genesis.
And I just like how Artifan's pushing up once again. I mean, his cooldown for that flash is going to be up soon, so it'll be okay. He understands that Swaith is probably coming again at some point. I think what really needs to be done there is if he's able to get those deep wards, which is what he is doing now, he's be safe to actually continue that being very aggressive while Paprise still hasn't scaled up yet.
Up in this top lane, the farm is continuing on. That Sheen not really making much of a difference. Paprise will continue to push up. We've seen this Jax usually played as a counter matchup to the Camille, but locking it in first. Paprise.
I reckon Paprise was just done with playing Maokai and not being able to do anything
Sick
game
of tanks.
1. Yeah, give me Jax. I want to carry. And he's been playing the lane quite well. Hasn't fallen behind. In fact, he's 10 CS up.
Full Fantix 180.
And it is because of his own plays as well. Like you said, that if he didn't flash with explosive cast, he wouldn't actually been able to get into range of the Artifernes. He would have been knocked away.
Yeah.
Artifernes would have lived in that situation.
Yeah, bot lane or farm lane, which is what you want as the Twitch. We were talking about Legacy needing to shut down this bot lane. It is hard when you are versing a Galio mid because that ult is able to come through. That idle Durand. But as we can see...
Here we go again. Sway throwing the ultimate heroic entrance to come through. Negates so much. Doesn't even matter. Abyss Academy will pick up one in the top lane. Legacy Genesis trying to capitalize on the bottom lane as KO will be dived on. Wild growth onto KO. He pops a rat-a-tat-tat and Babip will have to walk away at the cost of nothing.
And we see Corki roaming down. So they are trading top tower for bot tower. I wonder who has the tempo. I believe this will go to Legacy Genesis.
Yeah, turret is going down.
Gonna be close,
super quick.
Yep.
Trade it off, but first turret blood will go to Legacy Genesis.
So
the goal
is actually baiting. Abyss Academy.
Yep.
They've now shut down the tower that Twitch wanted to go. That Twitch was farming at. So they've stopped that farm lane. I'm curious as to what. So we can see that Drakon and Tilting are basing first. They will have a tempo advantage. They're going to probably rush top and look to counter push and get top tower. Corki is also basing. Doesn't have too big a buy.
This is what you typically do, though, when you have the Tristana. You really want to take advantage of her explosive charges, the fact that she has great pushing power. That's why they were able to actually have that tempo in the bot lane, because they were pushing up every single time. Kay was enjoying that free farm, but this is good for them there.
This Rift Herald, I'm not going to say I don't like it because you're taking an objective, but it's actually hurt them because they're very far behind in tempo. They aren't able to, like, they've all just come out of base now. They've all got their new items, but the BIP now has already cleared his bot side jungle and is going to be looking for a power play now. Corki also has mid priority. He's going to be looking to do something. I would like to see him rotate top. He looks to be... I don't think they should be playing bot side of the map. They've already got bot tower. There's no reason to be warding that bot side of the map. Your objective is the top tower. But Bip has just bought his Cinza Hulk.
Yep.
We're going to see what Legacy want to do now.
They're probably looking towards that dragon as their next thing. I would like to know what that dragon actually is for Swift to be putting so much priority going for it there. It might be the idea that they want to play around their strong side as well. They know Jax really is the stronger member right now, especially with the deaths that Artifernes have had. The fact they've been able to find the kills. They've been putting a lot of resources into propping up Paprise this game. And it might be that it's not necessarily the map itself, it could be just Paprise.
Swaith back again. Point blank ultimate. Galio again. This rotation from Abyss Academy is flawless. Artifernes does not stand a chance.
CC chain. Great CC chain coming out of Abyss. They're punishing Artifernes for going Iceborne so well. We disagreed with this item path. It was very greedy building, especially after 100%. Having to burn Flash. But this is great from Legacy Genesis on the other side. We can see that they're trading They're trading objectives very well. This is what you do when you have a losing lane. You don't try and help them. You just try and trade cross map. So they're still in this game very much, but this Jax is going to have a lead.
Yeah, it's going to be scary because Paprise, he's looking pretty big right now. Holds a small CS lead, but that Phage will slowly but surely turn into what you'd expect to be a Triforce. Legacy Genesis, the bot side of the map, however, doing good as always. It's going to be a second Infernal, but this time Abyss Academy. They reign full control over it, and it is going to be go down, no congestion. Maybe Legacy Genesis can get some chip damage on the mid turret.
And you see now what Abyss Academy's plan was there. Continue to put that pressure on, get Paprise to a good point, and also get back an Infernal Drake for their troubles.
Frey had flash available. He has TP as well, so TP up for both top and mid. And Artiferns. Okay, now that we looked at, he has the Iceborne Gauntlet. Let's be real. Get a tank item. Come on.
Technically,
I think he's realized.
I
by
mean,
now.
it has armor, Mendrix.
Technically, it's a tank item.
He's not a singed. Actually,
It's
singed,
just-
giving
I
singed
would-
mana doesn't give him
item.
help.
I would
anymore.
have really liked if you decided to go for.
It's not bad. It's
Frozen
not
Heart.
a bad build. Like he definitely wasn't under the impression that I'm going to get 3-man on twice in 5 minutes.
You would have thought it'd be going towards his bot side.
So
Instead, they've swapped
I would
around.
honestly just give credit to Abyss for noticing his item path and punishing for it.
It's a great point. I think Legacy Genesis maybe.
This is a
Artiferns didn't
Rotoad in the mid
expect that.
lane. Genesis are very slow to react. They've all just based. Corki's in the top lane. This is a great play coming out of Abyss.
Yeah, this turret's pretty much going to go down. Rift Herald going to take half of it with it. There's no way Legacy Genesis can stop this from going down. Rift Herald at half health. Has to be stopped now. Babip going to do the Dragon Flag. Frey ready to flash onto him. So will be the one turret. Legacy Genesis not far behind, but Abyss Academy still to hold that 800 gold.
But what's the big thing here, and Choo Choo's has touched on this point before, is that is the mid lane turret. Now, the pressure that Abyss Academy can put out is going to be huge. I think Legacy Genesis want to trade in turn. All they really do is need to get one good set of satchel charge, or one good explosive charge off. A few auto attacks, and that tower will go down. Abyss Academy are fighting for it quite dearly.
So 15 minutes in, and it's 3 kills to Abyss Academy. The thing is, look, Abyss Academy in game number 1, they weren't rotating like this. It was a little bit messier. In the same sense, Legacy Genesis were making more progress because they had the cog more. They were happy to play the pace. In this game, Abyss Academy are kind of just pulling the trigger first. Not happy to wait.
At 6 items, I believe Abyss Academy will win this game quite easily.
Yeah.
6 items Jax is too much of an issue.
Oh, hell yeah.
As well as
Yeah.
6 item Twitch. Even though you're running Corki Tristana, you're running double AD carry, Twitch is able to open up and surprise and get a couple autos off, which doesn't really give any counterplay, and that will win them a team fight.
Also to the fact that eventually Jax will become unmanageable for Artiferns.
Yes.
It's something that is, I guess a ticking time bomb for him.
Gragas does very well into stopping, but I think 6 items Jax is just too much. He will be able to just tank the tower itself. But I'm curious to see what Legacy Genesis will do to get themselves kind of back into the driving seat of this game.
Great help there by Swaith, making sure there was no follow-up. KO's gone for the Renans first. Looks like Infinity Edge will slowly follow, but Drakon yet to pick up his first item, as we see the Tristana always going for that Zeal before finishing the Infinity Edge.
I would say Legacy Genesis need to really catch Abyss Academy in a bit of a transition mode. I mean, like looking to go for a back to pick up their items, looking for a rotation, and they managed to be a little quicker to the mark. That's probably their only way to get themselves back into the driver's seat. And they need to do that probably within the next, say, probably in the next 10 minutes or so. If they haven't really done anything within that time, I say the game's going to start to quickly be out of their reach.
The issue that Legacy Genesis are running into is their engage tools are Jarvan and the Gragas. Jarvan engage isn't the best. People generally will have flash up and be able to get out of it because you only really need to flash for a kill or flash to get out of some CC. Gragas is also not ever able to really leave his lane. This Jax is going to make sure that he's stuck under that tower and not really able to utilize his kit. And Abyss in a great position. They're just farming under tower. This Twitch is slowly scaling. Corki is also been farming in the top lane for a while. I'll be curious to see how Harry plays the Corki. Corki can generally flash forward and one-shot that Twitch.
Yep.
As we were talking so much about last game, these carries needing to flash past the front line. But we may see our first team fight.
Yeah, it's taken 18 minutes, but here we go. Heroic entrance. Legacy Genesis knocked up twice. A flash away from Babip, not good enough. KO has popped the ultimate. And look at this, Abyss Academy cleaning up already. Harry and Drakon both have to flash, but the follow through from Swathe is so just. Paprise has joined in as well. No chance whatsoever as 2 doubles go to Abyss.
And that is just Abyss cleaning up. And you do not want to dive that turret at that point in time. That's the big thing that happened there. The moment Babip decided to force that engage, Abyssal Academy were more than happy to go, beautiful, let's bring in the Galio, let's bring in everyone else. The knockups were there, the Twitch has enough items to really clean everyone up, and then the collapse from Jax afterwards was just the icing on the cake.
I mean, we're just theory crafting it, that Jarvan is going to engage, he forces the Twitch to flash out of his ultimate, but then we see the Galio and the amount of peel and tankiness coming out of the Abyss composition. There's not enough follow-up damage coming out of Legacy Genesis, and Twitch is able to put out so much damage with the spray and pray. So Abyss have just reaffirmed how much they're 4K up now. They're definitely in a comfortable position. Sejuani's finished Warmogs.
Oh yeah.
What can Genesis do to get back into this game?
It feels like they're going to do a lot more, whatever it is, because this game from them has been slow. It has been a similar feel to the first one in terms of the pace they want to play it. Abyss Academy, although their scaling is better, they want to switch on. They are forcing these engages. Now you got to Warmog Sejuani at 20 minutes in the game.
I think they know that they're not going to win the 4v4. They know that they can't really get on top of this Twitch. They have the Lulu. We saw how much of an issue Lulu was in the previous game. They will definitely not be able to get on top of this Twitch. I think we're going to see them just try and scale, just try and get this Corki to 6 items, this Tristana to 6 items, and maybe they will be able to shut down this Twitch with some good team fighting, some good individual mechanical play.
I mean, that is going to be a really tall ask. You're looking at 3k deficit at this point, so Twitch is more than happy. It's definitely going to be
IE.
Yeah, he's just going to be absolutely unmanageable at that point.
You don't want a team fight. There's no way you win a team fight at the moment if you're Legacy Genesis. You're 4k gold down. You press tab. You look at Twitch's items. You're not killing that. Sejuani so tanky at the moment.
Oh yeah.
The Ardent Sense is finished on Lulu. You really just want to try and prevent your towers going down. You can see Corki's trying to maintain top priority, but you can see Abyss is slowly pushing every lane into them. This is worrisome for Legacy Genesis.
Paprise is so huge right now. Look at that. He is almost 2,000 gold above Artiferns, and this early game has not been pleasant for this Gragas. The Iceborne Gauntlet, I mean, I got to bring it back. I feel like if he didn't go for the Iceborne, maybe it'd still get bullied, but maybe he'd have a little bit more impact, because right now, Paprise is soloing the Dragon. Trinity Force Tiamat. He's going for Ravenous Hydra, and he just soloed Ocean Drake. Jax is big at 20 minutes.
He's going for lifesteal.
You know he's ahead when
or maybe he's going for Bork, and he's just keeping the team
going for Bork as well.
Bork is a great item to go.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Typically, Jax does like to go for Titanic rather than going for the Ravenous. I have seen, I mean, Cursed is someone who actually opts in for Ravenous Hydra in most builds that people like to go for Titanic.
Yeah.
So this might be a bit of a change around that players are starting to find that, you know what, might as well just have that extra sustain rather than having that extra tankiness. It's hard to say, especially when you're ahead, having that sustain really is more effective.
Swathe has just found Babip, and there's KO to respond. Frey is strong in the back line, but he's going to follow up to the front soon. This Academy is starting to impeach on Legacy Genesis jungle, and this 4k gold lead is starting to really affect the side of Legacy Genesis.
I find it interesting that Harry's going for the static shiv here. He hasn't gone for the rapid fire. To me, that shows that he wants to kill the front line. You would go rapid fire if you want to hit those targets you can't really reach, like the Twitch in team fights. So he is opting to try and have a who can kill the front line the fastest. It's definitely interesting, but as we can see, Abyss Academy is starting up the Baron, opting to pull off it. I agree with this. There's no need to make this risky play. You're in a comfortable position.
What I liked about the static Shiv that Harris decided to opt for is it gives you that extra wave clear. Typically with all these guys, like you can see the pressure right now Abyss Academy is outputting. It's just waves being thrown at you left, right,
but I mean,
and
do you
center.
need, if you talk about wave clear, Phosphorus Bomb and the big one, or like the rocket, his ult, do they proc static shift?
Well, they wouldn't proc it specifically. But
Static Shiv only procs from your auto attacks.
Yes,
but it still gives him that little bit of extra wave clear is what I'm looking at here. I mean,
it's definitely something new. That we've seen
happened
from
in the last couple of patches, isn't it?
Yeah. After we saw the rapid fire nerfs, a lot of people started building the static Shiv. It does give you that extra wave clear, but you generally want to go rapid fire because when you're in a sieging situation, Corki's able to auto attack Rocket to proc the Triforce, and you're able to chunk one of the carries quite low off that. Hopefully you get a crit as well. That's the absurd amount of damage that we know Corki can put out. But we're not really going to see that onto a Galio or Sejuani. He's rarely going to have the opportunity to auto attack this Twitch, so I think this is a smart buy by him to go the static Shiv and eliminate this front line as fast as he can. Something also very interesting that I saw Triple Cheese do from AV is opting to go for the Blade of the Ruined King's second item.
on Corki.
On Corki.
Wow.
It was. I thought it was very smart.
Expensive build buff. But
Yeah.
then again, old Corki's went Infinity Edge.
Here we go. Same thing. Same combo.
Back again. Artifern's been bullied enough. Leave him alone. Artifern has to flash. He will get out. Corki with package, actually, Frey.
Legacy Genesis are collapsing on this.
Abyss are looking at Baron, though.
Oh.
But this is the cost of it. Abyss Academy start up the Baron. Legacy Genesis, can they rotate in time?
This isn't going down fast enough. Jarvan is going to be there. Yes,
They're
they are
off.
deciding to pull this off.
Legacy Genesis don't lose a single thing.
We can see, though, this Gragas is getting tanky, though. This Gragas is not dying to this combo that they've been pulling off a couple times on him. It really is a question of if he can stop Jax from getting these towers. And I guess not, as we see a tower go down.
Nope. It's never going to stop.
It definitely does help when you do have a Galio to give you that little bit of extra push. As we saw that happen there. Legacy Genesis tried to help him out, but it wasn't enough. And as soon as they realized Baron was under threat, basically that was what stopped them from continuing, and that allowed... It was basically the choice. Do we help Gragas, or do we let the Baron go? And clearly Baron won out.
Paprise is just free farming in the jungle. He's pushed out. That inner is down. Blue buff is his as well. He's got full ward control, and looks like he's going Titanic Hydra into Blade of the Ruined King.
He's loving life at the moment.
Yeah, this is
not good.
Scary situation for Legacy Genesis. There's only so much proactive play you can make at this point because Abyss are doing such a great job of suffocating their vision. This Baron is probably the only real threat that Legacy Genesis are looking at. And you can see Abyss are playing around with it so well.
And it is a real problem for Legacy Genesis because it then comes down to Abyss Academy making a mistake, and at this point in time, Legacy Genesis are the ones who are more likely to do so without that information, about that knowledge. Here it is right now.
It's going to be Babip. Ultimate has been used. Babip gets out. And Abyss Academy, they are trying to force...
This Jax, though. Can Artifins get him off the tower?
Look at this. No, he can't. Definitely can't. This turret... not going to go down.
The game will eventually fall.
He clears the wave, and Abyss Academy start up the Baron for the third time. A control water is going to secure vision, but Abyss Academy pull off again.
So as we saw, this Jax is able to hit that tower. He has life still, but it doesn't seem he has enough. He's healing quite slowly, and Artifins has pushed them off.
There's Harry.
But it does make you question, how long does Legacy Genesis have until they lose one inhibitor, two inhibitor?
Yeah.
This Jax is eventually going to build more. I think he's going to realize that he just needs to build more sustain, and Artifins can't do anything to him.
This is probably the Titanic coming through there. There it is. Makings of everything that we're expecting him to build. And it's Abyss Academy pulling a Legacy Genesis thin. They have so many different wars to fight and just no resources to do it with. And it really is now just a war of attrition between these two teams.
Okay, it comes out of nowhere. Still, it's 7-0. I mean, going for the flawless game of Abyss Academy right now. But it just doesn't feel like they've got it in the bag. Paprise again.
Second dragon.
Yeah.
Look at this. Who needs junglers? Oh, let's bring Smite top lane back. That was a great meta. Or was it Smite mid?
Oh, no, there was two. There was two of those metas. So there was a Smite top lane meta at one point in time, and there was a Smite mid lane meta, but the only person doing it was Ezreal.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Was he in Trinity Force mode in mid, or was he wasn't AP, was he?
Well, no,
It was AP.
It was
AP.
AP.
It was full AP Ezreal mid.
Oh, before Morellonomicon, right?
I believe so. The reason why it worked was because
Yes.
Ringglaive at the time
Was broken.
Oh, that's
basically-
right. That
Well,
item
it
was
was
silly.
broken, yes, and the reason why it was broken is because it was an effective item, and what it did was Ezreal was strong late as AP, but that's when he had Lichbane as available. Like, you need to get that, and it was such an expensive cost at the time that having Ringglaive just bypassed it.
Here we go again, boys. Number 4. This time will Baron continue? No, it won't. Babip's there. But do they continue on? They know it's only him. Legacy Genesis slow to rotate. This time they're actually committing for it. Harry's on the other side. 3k. Dragon Flag will be available. Redemption to come on down. They pull off. Abyss Academy, do you go back in? No, they don't. 4th time Baron has been disengaged. What the heck is this?
Meanwhile, though, on that bot side,
There's the turret. Okay, so they go on to Baron every time they disengage. Now the fight's coming through as Babip has a 2-man Cataclysm. Ratatat will hit 2 members. Hayri and tilting at the back.
No damage.
Drakon, be careful. There is absolutely nothing he can do. And Paprise might just get the inhibitor. Legacy Genesis being flashed on. Ultimate is the Buster Shot, and the Hurricane will disengage. But Paprise might just get an inhibitor here. Pops the ultimate, negates some damage. Artiferns, yeah, he flashes forward. He explosive
twice
cast.
he's done
That
that.
is... Jax is gone.
he's out of there.
Yeah.
Paprise is just playing out of his mind.
That
at the
Twitch
moment.
was untouched. It's similar to what I think Abyss just
Yep.
took a note out of the Legacy book.
They had
Just
to.
Literally just they're playing the same kind of team fight composition that we saw in the game 1. This Twitch is untouched. Harry and Drakon both trying to do damage to this Galio. The Galio was fine with it. Didn't really mind at all. They don't have any penetration items. You can see the Lord Dominic's been finished for Drakon.
I think we need to just be honest. Both teams need to draft for, like, hyper carries late game. This is what the win condition is. If Abyss Academy have a great late game, they win. If Legacy Genesis have a great late game,
But
they
both
win.
teams have fallen into the same trap twice
Tristana
now.
is like a late game carry though.
I know she is. Just bring back the Cogmore.
It's just, if you're going to go for it, you might as well try to combat it a different way.
Yeah.
But both of them have tried saying, you know what, we'll just match it for what it is, and then when you fall behind, you just lose, because the other ADC can only do
But
the
is the
exact same
Tristana-
thing, and when you've got less gold, you don't have the items that you
Is
need
the
to do what it
Tristana
is.
enough of a failsafe? I feel like it is for Legacy Genesis. I feel like Tristana can...
I still think it's the same situation where Twitch just seems to do it better.
I'm very surprised that we've seen Xayah go through so many of these drafts.
Xayah was played epically through the OCS. Like, from start to finish, Xayah was such a big priority pick
Yeah.
for teams like
Christmas
Lynx with Christmas trees. Yeah, debuted his 80 carry a couple of weeks ago. And 5th time Baron. Let's see if this time it's followed through. KO appears and
It is
yeah,
falling
this is
quite
getting bursted
fast
down.
now.
Legacy Genesis 5k stunned up onto
They are
Babbitt.
turning.
The engage. No, it's there. They go back onto Baron. And Abyss are going to disengage again.
This is fine though, because look at Jax. Jax
Yeah.
is having a field day.
It might just end the game.
No one can deal with this Jax at the moment, and we see KO.
Oh my
There's
god,
KO.
KO fast forward, doing it himself. Wow,
He has
growth.
the flash. He has the flash open. He can flash forward if he wants to, but he's playing safe. He's holding on to that summoner spell.
And he picks up one, that's enough, because Paprise still going down on the bottom lane, and Abyss Academy, for the 6th time, they might actually pick up the Baron.
This time they should be able to
This
get it.
time.
This time it's
This
fine.
is so methodically and well
Yeah.
thought and played by
Yeah.
Abyss. I like that KO doesn't flash forward. He knows he can only die when he flashes down.
Here we go.
We can see they're trying to turn again.
Right,
What does
entrance.
Genesis do? They need to try and get in and contest this Baron, but there's 2 massive tanks.
Yeah, look
stopping
at
them.
Paprise. I mean, now that his damage is in there as well, use the Counter-Strike. It's at 2k. Drakon jumps in.
jungler's
Swing
dead.
on the side.
The jungler's
Jump
dead.
in. Babbitt has to go in. Smite. He gets it. Legacy Genesis have picked up the Baron. It's a trade-off. It's a 1-for-1. But Babbitt steals it away.
I actually don't know why Swaith was on the other side of the jungle and
Questionable.
just happy to die. Yeah.
I think typically what he's been saying, hey, Swaif, you've been the one taking all of the jungle recently.
You started up Baron 5 times, 6 times, no way.
I'll let you end it this time around.
This is kind of just a flashback to last game. We thought one team was winning, then the other team gets Baron, and now I guess we're supposed to see an Elder Dragon team fight. As we see Tristana mid-jump.
That's awesome. That's a good look.
Why do I hear the cat? Oh my god, we're talking about the sounds, right?
Yes.
Is this it here?
The sounds. Unfortunately, there's going to be a pause.
I think we're going to be hearing this one too.
There you go.
Oh, we keep hearing the cat. The cat
See what I mean?
Feels good, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, so why was Swaith outside of the pit?
That's a good question. I don't know. But it definitely was not the right option because you just gave Baron when you were 7k up.
Yep.
And now you probably just stalled this game on another 10 minutes.
Remember, Baron's 1,500 gold, right? So the power play has to come in for Legacy Genesis, but it is still a flat 1,500 gold, 300 for each member.
I'm trying to, put myself in Swaif's shoes, and what I was thinking might be the situation is I'll play point guard to the point that the Baron gets low enough because I'm not really going to be doing too much damage anyway as a tank. As soon as he gets low enough, I'll just charge over the wall, get the smite, everyone's happy in Dory, and we all go back to the base nice and happy. And unfortunately for them, he ends up dying before he gets the chance to charge over. Babip's free to go in for the smite still. And now the game's a lot closer than what it was about 5 minutes ago.
Something to point out is Drakon has 4 items. He's farmed. He's about 80 CS, nearly 100 on this Twitch. Also, Corky's farming very well, about 50 CS on his lane opponent. This game is not over. We've talked about how this Jax is a threat, but Genesis may be closing to the stage of the game where they can kill this front line. They can kill this Galio fast enough.
And Artifernes has finally caught up as well. I mean, he's got his 3rd item now, and Spectre's Cowl looks like it will be the Spirit Visage, or maybe going for something like... What am I thinking, man?
They want to take this fight.
Oh, yeah, screw the items. Let's talk about the fight. Legacy Genesis
taking a lot of damage.
Swaith is so far forward once again. Mistakes being made. He has to flash back. Babip getting stunned up. Goes into Marcia. He shouts. He does not steal away this one. And he goes down. The taunt is there. Paprise is starting to clean up. Abyss Academy get destroyed with a double flash forward. A double kill it is. And it's a 2-for-1.
I am so happy Drakon is the only person in this match who actually flashes forward. We saw KO didn't want to do it. Harry does not want to do it. He chunks Twitch, doesn't want to follow up and punish him for running up too close. Drakon flashes forward, gets a double kill, and wins them that team fight. They do lose the dragon, but you can see... we're going to see a replay of this team fight, but you can see, just watch Drakon, how much damage he's putting out. Swaith falls so low. The Bip goes for a steal, isn't able to secure it, but just watch Harry. Harry is deeply in there. The Twitch opens up, and they immediately do so much damage. Artifernes does very well to shut down the Twitch, but no one is really running forward to punish that Twitch opening up.
I do want to also talk about some of the good things Abyss did that fight as well. The fact that they've stopped that damage at the right moment, as you saw Babip going for the steal, that stopped him from being able to get that 3. He found himself between a rock and a hard place. And in the end, they were able to get the dragon out of it as well. So I guess they're counting their consolation prizes. And I think here, though, the big thing is Legacy Genesis have that tempo now. They have the ability to continue pushing forward. And now they're going to start clawing that gold lead back. They already have.
Yeah, but stun comes through again. Drakon has to jump away. Takes half of his health as a response. Harry sticking around. I'm not sure
Harry
why.
has package.
Has package. Maybe that is why. Cataclysm to come through. No wild growth. Flashes out. Babip was ambitious. No more. As Harry still having the package to work with. But they proceed, and this turret has got a minute of damage left.
Get in there.
Artifernes coming through. Babip there.
He still has
says
package
it's me.
available.
Artifernes, explosive cast. Legacy Genesis are kiting back. No, in fact, that's Abyss Academy. Sorry. Stunned up in the front line. They use the redemption, and they're going to heal up. Legacy Genesis will take the turret and force some summoners.
OCS is so safe.
I know.
I expected these guys to be solo Q stars, flashing forward, having great individual hit, but another team fight breaking out.
Yeah, no Cataclysm available.
Switch
Look,
down.
shut down. Drakon sitting in the back doing so much DPS. He's untouched again. Rocket jumps, doesn't get the full distance. Legacy Genesis.
This is bot inhib.
Yeah, they've got a massive wave with this here. They've managed to take out KO. They can just continue to push this forward. Abyss Academy do have the ability to get their reinforcements to actually heal up off the back of it. No one's gone away. I don't know what Swaif's doing on that side.
But there's it's a double AD carry comp. You have the Corki, you have the Twitch. I'm sorry, you have the Corki, you have the Tristana. And this turret's going to go down.
They can potentially end the game if they want it. They have a massive wave with them. We're going to see. They're looking to end right now. They have 15 seconds on Twitch to respawn. This tower's going to fall so quickly.
Swaith.
They need to make a decision. Do they teamfight or do they go for the
Well,
ends?
they've ultied up and Wild Growth hits 3. Taunted up again. The Wombo combo coming through. Buster Shot hits 2 of them away. And Drakon free to hit. But they're going to run. Polymorph and the ultimate used.
Here comes the TP out of
that's
Jax.
a big one as well.
Paprise is level 18.
This
has ulti.
This Jax is squishy.
But runs it. Wow, actually just took so much damage. Artiferns is going to sacrifice his life here. He will go down, but Legacy Genesis have still opened up the base.
This is okay for Genesis. Even though it's a 1-minute death time for Artiferns, they're all so far away from the Legacy base. They're all going to be able to... Legacy Genesis are able to back. They're going to be able to push out their lanes.
Now it's Abyss Academy's turn to actually find a response to this. They don't have Baron for a minute. They can at least set up the vision, get really good control of it there. They've got a lot of pressure on this top side of the map. Legacy Genesis right now need to actually just look at cleaning up these waves if possible.
I would actually want them to take the naked in-him bot lane. Baron is coming up. Having that in-him down is so helpful.
Yeah.
We're able to maintain bot priority. But on the other side, Artiferns does have TP advantage now. Jax's TP did secure the kill on Artiferns, but they're not... Abyss aren't actually getting anything off that kill.
Yep.
That TP will be very crucial in this next team fight as Baron is coming up.
And now with the fact that Artiferns have Spawn means Spawn does mean that they do have that extra control there. What? I said spawned.
You said something else.
I said spawned.
You said something.
I said spawned.
All right. Okay.
Baron, 24 seconds.
Thank you, cheers. 20 seconds now. Gonna move on.
And Dracona's just such a big threat now as well.
Look at Tristana's items. I mean...
Triple Zill.
Yeah, like this Tristana is no life still, but 100% crit.
I like the Phantom Dancer. I mean, against the Twitch, against the Jax, the dueling.
I would have liked Ninja Tabai, but I also think I'm not the 80 carry. You're the 80 carry. He probably knows better than me. But
I'm not an 80 carry.
Oh, this is a big risk from Legacy Genesis.
Ultimate goes under Drakon there in the pit. Swaith has taken it away.
Does take the Baron.
1 for 1. Now the fight has to come through for Abyss Academy. Otherwise, it's all over. The ultimate from Twitch. KO is hitting everyone. And Legacy Genesis, it is within their grasp, but they have to run. Run for the hills. And right now they're getting zoned. Where the hell do you go? I don't know, but a flash forward. Everything is huge here. Another stun, another taunt. Legacy Genesis tearing apart at the seams with Hayri and Artiferns the only ones left.
That was a very questionable Baron play. You haven't even let the pressure build up in the bot side yet. At least wait for that. Continue to just get the vision control back. Instead, they decide to force it down. Abyss Academy just go for a nice, easy engage. I think, yeah, exactly. They probably got the game off this.
Drakon has 35 seconds.
That's a mountain and 2 infernals.
Oh,
with Baron.
Good package coming out of Harry, trying to delay this creep wave. But you can see the Baron is just making these creeps so strong.
Gets Wild Growth. Swaith is hitting
First
at
tower's
the
going
turrets.
to fall.
First one's going to go down.
Still 20 seconds on Drakon. This should be game.
Heals way too much. Swaith going to be the first. No, walks away. Paprise taking a lot of damage. Has to jump away. Cleansed away. Hayri is free hitting. Kuden almost goes down. Stunned up. That's tilting there, but the Nexus will hit the dirt. And we're going to game 3, baby. Ow!
Yeah, what a back and forth game. We thought that Abyss was in a strong spot, and then they lose a Baron, similar to game 1, role reversal.
Yep.
And they managed to pull off a great team fight, secured by a great smite out of Swaith. We kind of just saw a role reversal. Both teams just switched compositions. 2
Baron fights that... Like, the first one, it was like, okay, Legacy Genesis, Babib stole that away. Second one, Swaith just walks in and steals that. It's like Baron is dictating these games, and they're going to stop doing stupid Barons.
I feel like it's a bit like different in terms of how those Barons played out. One, I reckon, was misexecution. I think Abyss Academy going for that Baron that first time was okay. It was all right for them to go for it. Maybe they didn't.
What Sway's doing outside
Sway,
the wall?
well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's the
doing
execution part. What's he doing outside the wall? He should be securing the Baron.
Like Jon Snow, right?
Yeah, what's he doing outside the wall? Is that what he's trying to say right now? But
He's a wildling. Oh, spoiler.
No. He's Rhaegar. Okay, he's a Targaryen. Anyway,
Anyways, people haven't seen that yet.
Anyways, back to what we're trying to say.
You're going downhill fast.
So, anyways, what I decided to go with that there is the second play was just a bad decision. It was bad decision making. They should not have gone for that Baron.
People are gonna hate
situation
you.
there.
People
No,
are
they're
gonna
not.
hate you.
If you haven't watched it now, you're never gonna watch it.
This is a strange experience.
OCS.
OCS.
All right, let's talk about the game because like that's season 7 stuff, man. You just suck. All right, I've seen it.
Talking about the game though,
all right,
Season 6
let's
stuff.
choose talk about the game.
I think that this final game is going to be very interesting.
Hell yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of target bans. I definitely think Lucio Soul Strikes, he's definitely drafting for Legacy Genesis at the moment.
Yep.
Would have definitely analyzed what went wrong that game, especially Artifern's building the Sheen kind of backfired and they punished him very hard for it. That's really where it all started. But besides that, I did think Harry's Corki, the matchup with Galio Corki proved very well. And it seems this bot lane from these two teams is just a farm lane.
Exactly.
So whoever can get the strongest scaling AD carry isn't really getting punished. And we talk so much about Legacy need to dive this Twitch. They need to not give this guy a free lane, and they kind of just let this Twitch scale and farm. And you could see in that last team fight that Twitch given too much room and essentially won before that team fight.
Yep.
I think it also comes down to Legacy Genesis always banning Rakan first as well, because we know KO can play Kalista. And we know that's a really, really good composition to have it together. And every single time they ban that Rakan, it's all of a sudden, okay, fine guys, we're going to a farm lane now. This is going to be good fun. May the best ADC win. And clearly you can see that being the case that these games are getting late.
I mean, you can play the Tarek with Kalista. It's not as good, but it's there. No, it's not, is it?
Well, I know just from experience in playing series, best of threes, best of fives, is that every series develops its own meta. And we know the meta of this series. Bot lane is a farm lane. Yep. No one is really investing a lot of resources into that lane. We saw Taliyah picked in game 1. Taliyah would usually go bot lane. We didn't see that at all. Same as this game. You would think that Jarvan would want to rotate bot as well as the package plays. We haven't seen a single package play. And the top lane, same thing. It's just a farm lane. A bit different this game, I guess. They did punish Artiferns for being quite greedy in his itemization. But all of these games really in OCS have just been quite slow scaling. And it makes you question what's going to happen in this last game of tonight.
Maybe it explodes. Maybe people stop playing so mechanically.
We did see a LeBlanc game, though.
That we did.
We did see a LeBlanc game, and it did do very well early. But some questionable picks, and it did lose in the game. It did spiral downhill. But would one of these teams pull that out? Would one of these teams pull LeBlanc out?
Well, I mean, the thing is, you don't know because Harry has done it before in the regular split. Harry's picked out LeBlanc once. I believe so. Quote me on that.
He has picked it.
We're about to jump into game number 3. We are going to have a 10-minute break, but when we return, game 3 between Legacy Genesis and Abyss Academy to see who goes into the OPL promotion tournament and the OCS finals for Split 2. Don't go anywhere.